It's Dr. Lotus Riché sharing with you 15 minutes of success, coming to you with successful entrepreneurs all around the globe that's going to share with you what they do to be successful so you can too.
Hello, and welcome to 15 Minutes of Success with Dr. Lotus Riché. I am your show host, and I'm so happy to have you here today. And so today on 15 Minutes of Success, I've got an amazing guest that's going to be coming here with us to share her 5 tips on what it means to be successful, how she's aspired to success, and how she's still thriving to gain future success. She also is a part of an amazing new conference that's coming your way in St. Louis. And we're going to get some secret sauce on that from her. And so while we're coming in, bring yourself on in and come on and tag a friend. Go ahead, tag a friend and tell them to come on in to 15 Minutes of Success. So while we're bringing everybody in and tagging them, we are going to play a quick commercial for you because we want to just give you the time that you need to go ahead and share this broadcast with your friends, with your frenemies, and those that you care about. So while you're doing that, go ahead and check this out.
Many people are trying to get in front of people on social media and don't know how because they don't know how to live stream. Well, you've come to the right place at the right time. And if you want to get noticed, you need to see Lotus. So reach out to her at www.lotusigniteyou.com. That's www.lotusigniteyou.com so that you can get in front of the people that need your services and your products today.
I had the opportunity to work with Lotus Riché and her team to create a promo video for my business. And let me tell you, she and her team are pretty darn outstanding. I had recorded a video that we were going to use in the promo. And during our meeting, they actually walked me through what worked in the video, and they provided suggestions for improving the video so that I can actually capture the audience and the clients that I want and the people that need my services. They actually told me what I could add to the video and how to set the entire thing up so that when people watch that promo, they will come away knowing who I am, what I do, and why they should contact me. So if you have the chance to work with Lotus Riché and her team, you are not going to be disappointed.
So many people out there today are saying, hey, Lotus, I want to start my own podcast. I want to do blogs and all that. Well, guess what? We help you with personal and business coaching. We also help you to explode your brand by upbranding. We also connect you to people beyond your front yard that don't even know you. Let us help you connect with people globally and expand your territory. Contact us today at lotusignite@gmail.com and let's schedule your discovery meeting now. This is Dr. Lotus Riché sharing with you 15 minutes of success, coming to you with successful entrepreneurs all around the globe that's going to share with you what they do to be successful so you can too.
Awesome. And we are back. Welcome to 15 minutes of success. Count them, 15 minutes of success. That's right. We have an amazing lady with us today. Some of you may know her as Izzy, the international healer. That's right. She helps you to heal yourself from the inside out. and I have the esteemed pleasure of having her with me today. Not only is she an international healer, but she's a speaker, and we might get some secret sauce that she's an author. But most importantly today, she's our guest. Please welcome with me none other than our guest, Miss Isabel Louise Camacho Black. Hey, Isabel. Woo, woo. Welcome to 15
Hi,
Minutes of
everybody. Hello. Lotus, thank you so much for having me on your show and for this invite and for everything that you do, because I have had the pleasure to hear you speak and to watch your show. And I'm very inspired and look up to you a lot with the new path that I am on. So thank you for everything. And I also want to thank you for putting out to the universe that I'm an international healer, because at this point, I'm an intentional healer. But with your magic that you just put out, I will be an international healer as well. So as I continue on my path, so I embrace it and I thank you. So I'm Isabel Luz Camacho Black, or Izzy, the intentional healer. And I'm just so grateful. I feel so, it's such a pleasure to be here today and to be with all of you guys.
And it's a pleasure to have you here. Now, Izzy, may I call you Izzy? Is that okay?
Yes, please.
All right, fantastic. So we're going to push this out into the universe, because there are people all around the world who need exactly what you have to offer with your products and services. But we're going to get right into it. And because we're talking about 15 minutes of success, what I'd like to know is when it comes to success, what do you see is success? What is success to you?
So success to me, and I've been aligning with this for a long time because it's how I raised my 3 children. And success is what makes you feel fulfilled in life.
Awesome.
When you feel fulfilled, you're at peace, and you just have this energy about you that it's not your secret. The world will also know. So that's what success is to me.
That's awesome. I love that. You said it's not your secret. And everywhere I go, Izzy, I tell people, so please, folks, take notes, because she's going to give you some life-changing information today that you don't want to miss. So it's not your secret to hold. It's not your secret to miss. So those of you from Overland Park, Kansas, Izzy is representing you guys today. So if anyone is on from Kansas, you need to go ahead and give it a thumbs up, because she is all the way here from Kansas, and you got to be proud of what she's sharing. So let's get right into talking about your 5 tips first, and then we're going to talk about this amazing conference that you're on. So what is one of the number one ways that you found that you have become so successful? Because you're the owner of Gigi's Natural Happy Essentials as well. And you didn't become the owner of a natural essentials company just by happenstance, because let's face it, it's hard enough to do things, that aren't natural, but you have gone the extra step to do things that are natural. So what was your first tip that you want to share with people when it comes to success?
First and foremost, I had to get out of my own way.
Oh, that's good.
So I had to look myself in the mirror and really start asking the hard questions. Number one was, who am I and why, right? I had to figure out why I am who I am, what is driving me on my day to day. So to get out of my own way, I use these 5 simple practices that are now a part of my daily life. And that's pausing, breathing, acknowledging what is, accepting accountability for your part in what is, and then taking action on the first or the next best step, regardless of what's going on in your life.
Wow. I love that. I love that. So I want to go back to something that you said, because you said that you had to get out of your own way. So you made a decision. So folks, make sure you're writing this down. You got to make the decision to do what she said. You've got to get out of your own way. I love that, because a lot of times we're in our own way and we don't even realize we're in our own way. How did you realize you were in your own way?
The best way to realize if you're in your own way, if you find yourself continuously having a narrative coming out of your mouth where someone else or something else is a problem in your life, that's how you know you're in your own way.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And then you said something that's really profound. You kind of started off with get out of your own way, but you also said identify who you are and why. So I want to go back to that, because why is identifying who you are and why is that so critical?
Well, it's extremely critical because until you have an understanding of where you come from and generational, just who comes before you,
yes,
in your family and in your bloodlines, what we don't realize is that we're carrying on their baggage, because it's just something that through being in survival mode, which is where our ancestors had to be. We still are. It looks different, but
right.
For sakes of this show, we have to take a look back of how we were raised and why it goes deeper than just our experience of it. So once I started unpacking all of that, I had a better understanding of what was driving me every day, the things I was passionate about, or the things I simply didn't care about.
Right.
And once I started realizing that, I figured out that I was the problem in a lot of my issues in life and barriers in life. And it was simply because of my lack of control of my emotions, because of all the trauma I had been through. So it was, just pinpointing it, calling it what it is, allowed me to put it in its proper place so I can move forward.
Wow, that's good stuff. So folks, if you're loving what she said, because this is critical, because you said putting it in its proper place. And the first thing that resonated with me is truth telling. Yes. Truth telling. Because you said you had to do the pausing. Why the pausing?
I'm a very fast-paced person. I never considered myself hyperactive, or never was considered to be. But when I would hear people speaking of what hyperactive was, I felt inwardly hyperactive, right? My brain, it didn't show outward, but my brain wouldn't stop. And I'm the type of person that things need to make sense in my world, or I'm going to raise the flag and ask questions and demand some clearer answers that I can move forward. So the pausing, first of all, just allowed me, for one, space to not always be outputting, but to allow myself to receive, right, from spirit, from a higher power.
Wow, I love that. So the pausing helps to get the clarity that you need from the higher source so that you can move forward. I like that. I hope you guys are taking notes on that. That's huge. So the breathing, why do we stop and breathe? Because many of the great thought leaders around the world talk about how essential breathing is. So for you, why was breathing so essential?
So for me, I come from a world of trauma and fast-paced living. So I have anger issues. It's just what it is. You know, I'm not even going to try to pretty it up. I have anger issues, and I always have. It just finally took people that I respected to tell me that I had those problems for me, you know, before. So I lived with it for years, and my children had to grow up with it for years in my family. And the breathing, what I started noticing every time I had what I call an episode.
Yes.
I started realizing that I almost hyperventilate right through those
Oh, wow.
times.
Mhm.
So I get so amped up and I'm ready to fight, right? And I'm ready to destroy. And the breathing helps me because I started recognizing the pattern of when I'm happy, what is my breathing like? What is my
Oh,
heart?
awesome.
How is my heart beating? And stuff. So it's just paying attention to my own body. You know, when I finally got tired, like, again, I had already looked in the mirror and said, enough was enough, and figuring out who I was and why. So then I was like, well, how do I chase that peace that I have when I'm happy, when things are going my way? And that was right, acknowledging that breath and then being intentional with it every day so that I
Mhm.
organically stay in that state of breathing or that state of mind.
Right. I like that. So that breathing really slows us down so that we can deal with our issues at hand. And that's kind of what you did when you were able just to breathe in the moment. You could
Yes.
really see, and you I think you used the word to recognize. You were really recognizing what was going on.
Right.
Wow, that's powerful. So acknowledging. Tell me about that acknowledging piece.
So acknowledging for me is taking a look. When you're pausing and you're breathing, you start acknowledging what exactly is going on today, right now,
Mhm.
right? I would have to remind myself, my name is Isabel Luz Camacho Black. I am a healer. I am here to heal humanity. You know, I had to acknowledge who I was while I was acknowledging what was going on in my world at that time, so that I could keep my vibration strong enough, right, to not only, because I no longer want to be a survivor, I want to be a thriver at life. So it's that constant acknowledgement as you take each step, because with each step, discourse can come, chaos can come. So with each step, pausing, breathing, and just being aware and open to know that God is speaking to us through everything that we do, and have your eyes open and your ears open for the right things, right? Not for the gossip, not for
Right.
all of that, but for the right things. And you'll just be led in a direction that you wouldn't have ever thought possible.
I like that. I like that a whole lot. Wow, that's awesome. So after you talked about the acknowledging, you talked about accountability action. Tell us about that.
Well, let's say, the same scenario. I'm pausing, breathing. I've acknowledged, reminded myself who I am. And then in that moment, I have to take myself full circle to, if there's discourse in my life, if I'm getting a knot in my stomach or an uneasy feeling, it's because I am participating in something. I'm actively involved in something. So it's not just my responsibility to take a look at who I'm involved with and what's going on, right? But where's my role? Where's my accountability? And once I can pinpoint
Mhm.
how I even got there to begin with in that
Mhm.
moment, then I can have the proper awareness to now take the first or the next best step, which is the next one, action. Because good intentions, I learned a long time ago, good intentions just aren't good enough.
Right. That's
Action must
awesome.
follow those intentions. So, yeah.
Wow. Um, I like that because what I'm hearing you say is that we've got to be accountable for ourselves, and that these good intentions are not good enough. We've really got to move into action on what we say we're really about. And so let's move right to some of our viewers around the world. I want to say hi to Angie. She said that breathing can help heal, release, and restore aspects of ourselves that are impacted by trauma. So that is key. What do you think about that, Isabel?
Uh, Angela, you're right on point with that. And where God spoke that into my life was in 2020. I was diagnosed with breast cancer
Mhm.
and had a double mastectomy, and I got reconstructed and had complications and had to take my left implant out. And it was during that time that, I was really challenged because I just was starting to learn how to meditate and breathe and pause, a couple years before that. So it was time to put all of that into action. And while I was doing my breathing and my meditating, God explained exactly what you just said, Angela. He said that as I breathe, and I intentionally breathe, right? With intention to breathe in all that is good that is for me and breathe out all that is not serving me well. He showed me where the lodges of energy within my body were being released and how important, how that could have made a huge impact in me ever getting breast cancer to begin with.
Wow, that's awesome. So thank you, Angie, for that comment. And we have overseer Gail C. Richardson out of Patterson, New Jersey. We're happy to have you. And Miss Kay says, wow, finally 15 minutes of success. Excited about the show. And we're excited to have you here. And Kay says she's watching from the Philippines. Thank you so much. And Angie's watching from Washington, D.C. And we want to welcome those of you that's just coming to the show, or even those of you that's replaying or catching it late. Thank you for watching the show and welcome. And please don't forget to share this with your friends, family, and your network, and even your frenemies. And please also don't forget, let us know where you're streaming in. We see a lot of people coming in and they're letting us know where they're coming in. So Kay said, I love being intentional in breathing. Yes, because that's so critical. And then Angie gave us another comment. She said, I like how breathing can release the tension and pent up energy that's deeply rooted in the subconscious of the person. Through deep breathing, the powerful connection between mind, body, and soul diminishes trauma. And that is right on the nail, Angie. And thank you for sharing that. And Isabella, you shared that because you said, hey, had I been utilizing the breathing techniques and being in that oneness and stuff like that, I could have, maybe sidestepped the issue with cancer. But here's the thing, you are a cancer thriver and you're still coming through. So thank you, everybody, so much for your comments. And some of you, I may not be able to put your comments up at this time, but I look forward and maybe some of the replays that we can get your comments up. And thank you so much. And so let's talk, if we may, let's talk about, as we begin to wrap up the show, let's talk about the movement that you're doing, because we talked about the 15 minutes of success. We talked about the 5 tips, the strategies. So I hope you're writing these things down. We're going to go over them, identify who you are and why, because that's essential. It's critical to your success. Get out of your own way. Remember that pausing is essential. And when you pause, you're just not pausing, you're pausing to take a moment to hear from the message on high. You're also breathing to kind of get you back centered, to get that clarity, because that pause actually helps you get the clarity from the Most High. And then the breathing slows you down so you can deal with the issue at hand. And then you want to acknowledge, what's going on, because acknowledging helps us to see the truth of what's happening in our lives. And like you said, Isabel, what contributing factor are you being to the situation? And then being accountable. We all have to be accountable for ourselves, because like you said, Isabel, we can have the intention to be accountable, but if we're not totally accountable, good intentions are not good enough. We've got to really move into action. So I love all those 5 tips of success that you've shared. Thank you. And so those of you, you've loved these 5 tips. I hope you wrote them down. Please put in number 5 in the comment block below and share this out and let us know who you might be sharing this with. So when we talk about your other businesses that you have, we know that you are the movement founder, Activate Your Power Now. It's a monthly speaker series that you do. Not only are you doing that, you're moving into other arenas. So tell us about this movement. And then we want to go right into this conference where you're one of the speakers.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. So the Activate Your Power Now monthly speaking series here in the Kansas City Metro is a movement I founded with a couple other new speakers, and we are completing our first year. Now, I like to say that you need to be activated before you can step into becoming the best you, right? You have to acknowledge, for it's like being ignited, right? So that spark has to be there to acknowledge something can be made better in my life. And that's on many different levels. So the Activate Your Power Now platform is a platform for people to unapologetically get on stage, share their truth, and then invite other people who are not speakers to step on the stage and do the same, to inspire others to be ignited or activated, and so they can then now start the journey of becoming the best version of themselves.
Exactly. And you hear her use that word ignited, right? Because it's time for you to ignite and take flight in every area of your life. And the way to do it is to grab hold to these tips that Isabel has shared and connect with her on all her social media. So we know that you are one of the Becoming the Best You conference speakers. So with that being shared, we want to share with you, our listening audience, a little bit more about the conference.
One of the best conferences of the year is finally here, Becoming the Best You Conference. Join us live or virtually and hear from the greatest speakers in the country. Brenda Ringwood, Terrence Lethbridge, Stacey Wahey, Arcavius Armstrong, Dr. Lotus Riché, Regina Platt, Dr. Rick Bolton, Anthony Russo, Chuck Doyle, Dr. Ruben West, Jennifer Lauren, Jessica Mortier, Dr. Jawanda Rollins-Fells, Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris, Indy Nam, Tracy Randolph, Isabel Black, Sarah Minguez, Jill Reynolds, Kevin Wilson, Saccone Prince, Definitely Holly, Chuck Prison, Dr. Michael Freeland, Tommy Morgan, Prince Michael, James Griffin, Charlotte White, Aaron Page, Jeremy Nunez, Jeff Markinet Jr., Belton Showell III. Becoming the Best You Conference, February 17th through the 19th, 2023. Clayton Plaza Hotel, St. Louis, Missouri. Get your tickets today.
Wow, this is some lineup, and you are in this amazing lineup. What can people expect to hear from you during the conference?
So what you'll hear from me, I'm excited first and foremost to announce that in the St. Louis conference, I will be opening up the show. You don't want to miss it. I have something in store for everybody. It's going to be so much fun. But what you'll get from me is a part of my story and how I come from a life of drugs, the cartel world, and gangs, living on the streets, and how I didn't allow my story, right, my circumstances to ever hold me back. I always found a way to make my life what I wanted it to be, to find ways to create my own life, since I couldn't find it in the world where I was being navigating through. But for me, what you'll hear is you'll be challenged to become the best version of yourself. And I challenge you by doing that with two things. One, believing that change is possible regardless, and then engaging or taking the first or the next best step regardless. And what you'll learn is that regardless means regardless of your past, regardless of your current circumstances. And here's the hard one, guys. Regardless of what other people are saying or doing, you can still make it happen. You can live the life you've always dreamed of. You just got to go to this conference.
Wow, I'm loving that. I'm loving that. So, folks, get your tickets today. And I've got you. Like I had you in the solo. And listen, You got to get your tickets, folks, because Becoming the Best You conference is going to be amazing. And you've got to come hear Isabella get up on that stage and wow you. Now, she gave you just a little few morsels. I'm telling all the speakers, don't give you everything, because you've got to come and hear these speakers speak. Okay. She's given us more than five actual magnificent tips on how to be successful right here on 15 Minutes of Success with Dr. Lotus Riché. And so as we wind up the show, I want to go back to our viewers, because we've got people from all over the place coming on. Make sure you hit us up, www.comechangeyourlife.com. Go there. You can get your ticket. And here's the thing. We've got a suggestion. Talk about change. Isabel made the changes to have the life she wanted. And you can come to this conference and learn strategies, learn techniques that's going to help you embody the changes that you need to make to change your life. And Brenda, she is our host, along with our co-host, Mr. Terrence Leffridge. She said, let's get it. And Angela Elting said, thank you for the tips, Isabel. And of course, we asked for some fives. We wanted to know if you're really alive out there, and put your fives in the comment if you're enjoying what she said and if you grabbed your pen and took notes, because note takers are money makers and action takers. And Mary Cofield said, great discussion. And she's streaming in from Richmond, Virginia. Fantastic. So with no further ado, we're going to turn this thing right back to you. So Isabel, I want to know, how can people reach you and connect to you to get further acquainted? I know you've got the www YouTube shared that you shared. So tell them how to connect with you.
So to connect with me, the best way is to email me at izzythehealer@gmail.com.
All right.
And you can follow me on my social media platforms. And that's Isabel Luz Camacho Black, or follow me on YouTube, where I share where I've spoken on stage and little bits of my story.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm loving it. So make sure you check her out on YouTube. You don't want to miss her on YouTube. Make sure you check her out right there, WWGG's Natural, because we all need great products for our body. We want to be healthy. We want to live healthy. So here's our chance to do it, right? All right, fantastic. And make sure you check her out on YouTube. So with no further ado, don't forget, join us here, and we're going to kind of shift over and bring Izzy. First of all, Izzy, I want to thank you for being here today. It was phenomenal. I think the world around us thoroughly enjoyed what you've shared, and I know Brenda did. Brenda said, great show. Let's not forget that Dr. Lotus Riché will be one of the speakers. That's right. And don't forget to get your tickets. So Izzy, I want to thank you for being here, and we'll see you backstage here shortly. Thank you so much. So with no further ado, I'm coming right back at you to tell you, make sure you go right here. See that GG's Natural? Make sure you go there. Support her. I'm quite confident you're going to love her products. And don't forget to get your tickets today, because time is winding up and spaces or seats are limited. So with no further ado, we'll see you at 4:00 today, when my next guest is none other than the phenomenally incredible Jill Reynolds from Braveheart. You don't want to miss it. One of the best conferences of the year is finally here, Becoming the Best You Conference. Join us live or virtually and hear from the greatest speakers in the country. Brenda Ringwood, Terrence Leffridge, Stacey Wahey, Arcavius Armstrong, Dr. Lotus Riché, Regina Platt, Dr. Rick Fulton, Anthony Russo, Chuck Doyle, Dr. Ruben West, Jennifer Lauren, Jessica Moyer, Dr. Jawanda Rollins-Fells, Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris, Indy Nam, Tracy Randolph, Isabel Black,
Sarah Minguez, Jill Reynolds, Kevin Wilson, Saccone Prince, Definitely Holly, Chuck Prison, Dr. Michael Freeland, Tommy Morgan, Prince Michael, James Griffin, Charlotte White, Aaron Page, Jeremy Nunez, Jeff Martinet Jr., Belton Showell III. Becoming the Best You Conference, February 17th through the 19th, 2023. Clayton Plaza Hotel, St. Louis, Missouri. Get your tickets today. Thank you for watching the show, and be sure to follow us on Instagram. Like and share, and let us know that you care. Also, let us know what other type of shows you'd like us to present just for you. Thank you.